Hello everyone, I am once again joined by my father. Say hi, Dad.
Hello.
In today's video, we are going to be reviewing the original Blob from 1958 as we are continuing this month's Father and Son movie reviews, Sci-Fi September. And the movie stars a very young and unknown Steve McQueen, despite playing a teenager, and yet he doesn't even look close to a teenager. Wouldn't you agree with that, Dad?
Yes, I would say, other than Dick Clark, he was the world's oldest teenager.
Yes. If they made him a college student, I would have been okay. Oh, that would have been more convincing than, So what do you think of the Blob?
Well, for its time, it was a good movie. I thought that the concept was interesting. And some of the special effects were pretty good for the time.
Right. Well, granted, I will admit, this movie's not really big on, it's not about that. It's not really about the special effects. It's really more about, the characters and how, the teenagers are, the heroes of this film. In some ways, one way of describing this film, it's like Rebel Without a Cause as a sci-fi film when you think about it a little bit. Because some of the characters look identical somewhat to the characters in Rebel Without a Cause, but different.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And also, what's her name? Anita
Corso.
She also does not even look like a teenager either. Natalie Wood got away with it more in Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah.
I mean, I will admit, the effects are a little bit outdated to some degree, but I think that the teenagers are the real, is why, people love this movie and why I love this film, because they're the heroes, and that was very, unusual, not really heard of for that time period.
Yeah, that's true. It was unusual. I remember when I first saw it, one of the striking things was when the old man goes to puts the stick in the gooey stuff from outer space.
Yeah.
And it creeps up and it kind of jumps up onto his arm.
Yeah, I felt bad, even though despite that was a small part for the old man, I felt bad for that character. This poor, this innocent old man who didn't do anything wrong, had this happen, and where he finds this mysterious alien that comes from outer space, and it just hit me. I mean, not to get off topic, but I wonder that could have been. Did you ever see Creepshow?
No.
I wonder that could have been maybe somewhat of an inspiration for in Creepshow, there's a similar premise to that where Stephen King's character finds this. But
oh, wait a minute, I did. Yes.
Okay, so you did. Okay,
I did see Creepshow. Yes. I remember the short episode with Stephen King.
I wonder if that could have been somewhat maybe inspiration, but Stephen King plays more comedy and laughs than taking himself seriously. But not to get off topic, but still,
right? It
makes you think a little bit.
And you can see it was also in the movie Slither. It was repeated.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Even James Gunn said that. Well, he said the movie Night of the Creeps was but he said there was a little bit of inspiration for the Blob, growing up in the 80s watching 50s and 80s sci-fi B films that he grew up watching. Yeah, I also love how it's definitely I just love the atmosphere of the 50s of this film.
Yeah, it did capture the era.
Yeah, it did. Well, because especially how it was made back in the 50s. This is not a big Hollywood budget. It's definitely taking place in a small town in Pennsylvania, in which we're not that far, but I hope that someday in the future we can make a video vlog going on where they shot the original film.
Yeah, I remember when I was young when the movie came out.
Right.
It was in
1958, so you had to be 2.
Yeah.
We just gave away his age.
I remember when somebody was talking about it. I think it was one of my cousins, my older cousins.
Right.
And they talked about how the Blob came into the movie theater.
Right.
And I thought that if I went to the movie theater to see it, that the Blob would come into the movie theater.
You actually thought that?
Yes, I actually thought that. But then again, I was only 2.
Right. Well, obviously, I don't think your parents didn't see you to take this one.
No, I did not see it in the movie theater. I saw it on TV.
Gotcha. How old were you when you first saw it?
I don't remember. I was older.
Well, I will admit, like I said, the effect, I mean, it's somewhat of it has its moments of looking cool and other moments not so cool. I think I will admit, I mean, I love this and the remake. I think the remake did the better special effects, but again, I want to do a solo one on that one.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Also, like I said, I also feel like this film, I mean, it's a great film, but it's definitely somewhat B-movie classic quality to a degree. It's not supposed to be if you're expecting something serious, it's not. It's supposed to be fun, a little cheesy, and
right.
And as I said, I do like the teen characters, but I feel McQueen's act. It was only his first movie, so I give it a pass. He was just starting out, and then when you're young and unknown, you have to say like yes to every opportunity as an actor in order to get your career started.
Right.
Especially how he became one of the great Hollywood actors in the '60s. After that, like Magnificent Seven, Love with a Proper Stranger, Bullet. I loved Bullet. Bullet was really great.
Right. The Great Escape.
Yeah, I love that movie. Great motorcycle scene. That was awesome. And there's also a cop in the film. Just don't drink and drive when I say this. The cops, like, I don't remember like which character it was. One of the cops keeps saying like, "Oh, we'll worry about it." Like he keeps saying like, "We'll worry about it tomorrow," because he doesn't believe the teenagers' point of view about like, oh, like we see like this monstrous blob. Hence why the teenagers are the hero. No one believes the teenagers. Right. And any other thoughts on the film that comes to mind about the film that you like or want to point out?
Well, it's kind of a nice nostalgic film,
right?
Retro type film,
right?
And it has become iconic because of the Blob and like you said, it has inspired other movies.
Yes.
Too.
Also, there was a Goosebumps episode I watched as a kid. It was called The Blob That Ate Everything. But it's funny, as a kid, like, watching Goosebumps compared to, like, watching it as an adult, I'm pointing out, like, I think R.L. Stein was inspired from this movie. You're pointing out all the... Right. In a good way, though. Like, that's where he got his inspirations, but made up the PG-13 versions for Goosebumps. Yeah. I mean, I'll admit, it definitely has some, like, especially the opening scene. Like, it's funny how, like, the opening song, like, Beware of the Blob. It's weird how it opens up with, like, a cheesy, like, goofy, like, song until, like, once the movie starts, it goes from a cheesy song to, like, scary.
Yeah, that's true.
Very, like, weird choice for an opening song for Beware of the Blob. It creeps, it bleeps.
Yeah.
Every time I like watch this way, I kind of like laugh at myself. This is the opening song until we're about to. I guess that's about everything that comes to mind.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we covered about just about everything about this film that we love about it, and we will see you next time. Say goodbye, Dad.
Goodbye.
See you later.